President Biden's decision to endorse Vice President Harris has so far paid off politically. In the last 48 hours, the party has rallied behind the vice president to take the torch from President Biden as the nominee. Here was Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro earlier today.
I've known her 20 years, just about 20 years. She is tough as nails. She doesn't suffer fools. Like me, she's been a prosecutor. She stood up for the rule of law, and she has always stood for the people.
The chair of the Democratic National Committee, Jaime Harrison, is joining us now. Thanks for being here at the table.
Thank you for having me.
Vice President Harris on the campaign trail today. What's her goal at this moment for the Democratic Party?
Well, listen, I think the goal for the vice president is to make the case, to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. And, I watched the speech. There were a ton of people there and a lot of energy. And we see that excitement. It's a grassroots excitement with her. We look at the amount of money that has come in, a record over $100 million over a course of 24 hours. I've raised a lot in my Senate race. I've never seen money coming in like that. And a lot of volunteers signing up for the campaign. So she's bringing a lot of energy.
How are Democrats going to handle the attacks from former President Trump and his campaign, from Senator J.D. Vance, and from the Republican Party wholesale?
Well, I think it's more about how the Republicans going to handle the attacks from the Democratic Party, because we got a lot to focus on as it relates to Donald Trump.
What's your number one target with the Republicans?
Well, think about it. It's Project 2025. You look at it, and as the American people learn more about it, they reject it. And they know that Donald Trump is closely tied. Many of his senior advisors, even though he's trying to deny it now.
He keeps disavowing it publicly.
Yeah, but you can't disavow it publicly. And a lot of the people who worked for you and who want to work for you are working very much on making sure that is front and center.
Are you convinced, though, that people across the country, everyday voters who might not be political insiders, like you, like me, who covers all of this, do you think they're really plugged into what Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation is?
Yes, we have seen a tremendous spike. When it becomes a topic of conversation at the BET Awards, it has broken through in terms of many communities who probably normally wouldn't even be interested in this type of thing. But when they go and they research it and they find out what it's about taking away Americans' freedoms. It's about limiting the safety net that we have in this country. And so folks are going to reject that, as they have rejected the Republicans' attempts to take away women's right to control their own bodies. They're rejecting, seniors are rejecting gutting Medicare and Social Security, taking away the Affordable Care Act. And so this is a very bad thing for the Republican Party, and we're going to make sure that the American people understand who wrote it and who's responsible and why we cannot allow this to be implemented.
But help me understand, you're the head of the Democratic Party, running the Democratic National Committee. If Republicans make direct references to Vice President Harris's race or gender, or if they make an indirect reference, we've seen some House members make some indirect references in recent days, how exactly is the DNC going to handle it?
We're going to hit them back on it.
What does that mean?
We are going to, from social media to press releases, responses, to interviews, we are going to make sure that the American people understand who is the party of intolerance. Who is a party that is anti-diversity in this nation? The thing that makes America great is that we are a diverse nation. No other nation on the planet is as diverse as the American people are. That's part of our strength. That is what makes us so great.
Is there anything going on inside the DNC now that Vice President Harris is the presumptive nominee to focus on attacks specifically about her, because you've been so focused for a long time on President Biden?
Well, actually, we've had divisions within the DNC because of the early attacks that the Republicans have had on the vice president throughout her vice presidency. And we'll continue to ramp that up and put resources to combat this disinformation and just nasty politics. It is just nasty politics, but that's what you expect from the Republican conference.
Do you want, as the party chair, for her to have a running mate announced before the convention?
Well, we have set up this process so that if the vice president becomes the nominee, or anybody who becomes the nominee, that we have set up this process so that they know that if you want to comply with the laws in all 50 states, we have to be done with our selection process for both the presidential nominee and the vice presidential nominee by August 7th.
Do you expect any Democrat to challenge Vice President Harris at this point for the nomination?
Well, we've heard rumors that Marianne Williamson, who ran earlier, mentioned that she was going to do it. The problem is you have to get 300 signatures from delegates at the DNC in order to get on the ballot. I just think it's a tough hill to climb. At this point, it might not even be a hill, it might be Mount Everest.
You're from the South.
Yeah.
I've covered you in South Carolina for many years. Would you like to see a vice presidential contender from the South so the Democrats can maybe make a bigger play in that region?
Well, that is not up to me.
I know, but you've been trying to build the Democratic Party in the South for decades.
I have been.
So would it help to have someone from the South? Would it help? Would it be helpful?
Well, listen, I'm going to leave that to our nominee to make a decision.
Would it be helpful?
In the
Bashir,
end of the day,
Governor Bashir?
What I want is a winning ticket.
Which region of the country do Democrats really need to do better
listen,
this time around?
We're trying to do better in all of the regions.
But especially the South, right?
I have run a 50-state strategy in order to make sure that we're investing in red states across the country and trying to turn them purple and then to get the purple ones bluer. And so I trust our nominee will pick the best person that will be that part of that winning ticket.
Is there any litmus test you have for a vice presidential nominee on issues?
I'm not a presidential nominee, so I don't have a litmus test. All I want is the two best people that we have in our party to run hard and to win this November.
Jaime Harrison, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.